Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday night.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, the stage is set for our final Thursday night game of the year between the London Monarchs and the Cleveland Browns. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now Barkley. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. A big play there. 65 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
Here's Barkley, fighting to stay upright. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. And, Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them. And we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. The Browns D locked in on third down, brings up fourth.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So a nice opening drive on the road. You get the 3 points. Part of you wonders if that might hurt them later not getting into the end zone.
Well, the good thing is, still first quarter, and they did come out of it with points. In a sense, they could look at it positively and say, hey, we set the pace in this one. I think that's how they'll go about it.
Throwing on first down is Carr. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Now, you ready?
This is freedom. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
I think a block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain,
Still
off or
down.
not on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Throwing his car on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Yeah, he was looking for the checkout bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And for them right now, not a done deal. So they are holding down one of the final wild card spots. And with 2 weeks to go, there are others kind of nipping at their heels a bit.
And imagine what the talk has been all week within their locker room. And it's really, let's rely on ourselves because they could get help and still.
It's caught inside the 25. So from their own 20 all the way to the red zone now. A chance to capitalize on 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Sliding out of the pocket. And that is incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there. And in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now they try the right side here. And he's brought down. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
So 3 plays, already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Shaq Lawson in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
The numbers for him from a week ago. 7 carries, a trip to the end zone to go along with 118 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
Now Carr, and that's incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They run with Breida. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
That's taken on the 25. Skirts by him at the 35. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their route, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync. Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. He finds Beckham complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there at 22.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Fights off the defender. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Well, that wasn't a completion, but it wasn't a sack either. So the good takeaway, able to extend the life of the play. Normally, you would think he'd just take off and run downfield. He was trying to find an open receiver, unable to do so.
He's already topped his receiving output from a week ago, and we're just in the 1st quarter, as that's a 1st down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are.
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it's London football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 13. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Back to the air on second down. It's Carr. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. But he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. There's a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And a great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Carr now on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now it's Breida. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
Yeah, and how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense.
Here's Carr. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down. When you want 3, get a little bit closer, make it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conlon. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to...
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. He'll field this at the 5. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the the 4-yard line.
I don't know about you, but if I'm the offensive line coach right now, I'm having an absolute fit. This team that they're going against has 3 sacks, yet they rank dead last in the league in sacks coming into this game.
Maybe overlooked them a little bit?
Could be. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if they've just gotten fortunate along the way. I have no real great answer for it, but we're seeing something you don't often see. Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. More from Cleveland after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And they'll run it here. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. They'll look to set up his blockers. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
The boy juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. In for the score. And the Browns are able to cash in for 6. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. When they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. This fielded at the 2. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Here now, time to discuss Odell Beckham Jr. He'll try to generate some more steam on offense down to the scoreboard 2nd quarter. Not necessarily his fault, but he's always a guy they want to get extra involved.
Keep finding ways for him to get the football. Keep force-feeding him in that way. Get to the half. Kind of reboot. Start over again to try and erase the other things that have them down on the scoreboard.
They'll be looking for a little more juice here in the 2nd quarter before they do hit that halftime locker room. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And it's caught. Touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys are able to strike for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here. And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Carr going to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. On first down, Carr. He's going to loft one deep left into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10.
Flex round! Flex round! Let's go! 190!
They'll throw now on the final play. They'll let it go deep for Beckham. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. We now proceed to the start of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Here's Breida. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Right back to him on first down. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. The Browns on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Now a play fake. Carr. And this is going to be incomplete. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Cleveland. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. He's going to field this at the 4. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away this timing.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Now back to throw. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Shaq Lawson in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player disrupted in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
He's able to get 4 back on the run, but now they'll have to find something here on 3rd and about 14.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 43. On play action, they'll throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this is caught. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. After some early struggles running the ball, they've really picked it up. Early it just seemed like there were no holes there. Now all of a sudden the holes seem to be there. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
And give them credit that they kept their confidence, because sometimes when you get stuck big in the running game early, especially for an entire half, it really makes you retreat a little bit, but not this group. They always have the confidence that they just get their assignments down, they get in sync with their runners, and off they went.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass.
Now let's go. Blue 90.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. And the previous drive put him up over 1,000 yards for the season. So now it's what you like to refer to, my friend, as gravy time, right?
It is. I mean, he's done it, right? He's accomplished the goal. So the good players,
and that's caught inside the 35. And they rattle off a big one. 55 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end,
Still first down.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The tackle will be credited to Jake Ryan.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here we go.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
They're going to look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
They'll look to throw here. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Ball Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Set. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. It didn't happen on that play.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the 4th.
All right, here we go. Green.
Back to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down. The Browns on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 8.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll drop to throw. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Back to throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. And that'll be enough to keep the drive moving forward. Another 1st down on the pickup of 5 yards. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
He'll find his man on the comeback route. Complete. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another 1st down.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They come out here in the eye.
Green 39.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
Here we go now. Green 39.
They'll try to run with Breida. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. They'll look to throw. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. In for the score. And the Browns get a score closer.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, one by land, two by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line, but I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put them back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flush to his right. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've got an answer for it.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Now Barkley, and the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Here's Barkley. Over the middle to Beckham. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8.
Come on, let's go.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Oh, no, he lost the football. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 8. They'll set up a throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll set up to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on 4th. Well, we looked at each other in surprise going for it on 4th down to the 4th quarter with a lead. But, hey, you get it as a coach. You look like a genius.
So the next time we see Coach, he's going to say, well, that's why I coach and that's why you guys talk up there, right? He had the guts to go ahead and go for it, and it paid off.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Shaq Lawson in there to get him, and that number 6 for him on the year.
It's been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. His throw incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Josh Doxson, and it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the second level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Flex round! Flex round!
He'll look to throw. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
I'm laughing to myself because I could just hear in film session. But, Coach, I was throwing to Odell Beckham Jr. Of course I thought he was open.
They'd love to go deep downfield to him, though. Such a threat.
Yeah, a rare incompletion because most of the time we expect him to actually come up with the catch.
All right, so then instead of a 2-score lead in the waning moments, that miss means they're going to need to sweat this one out after all, partner.
Nothing comes easy in this league. That could turn out to be a miss of disastrous proportions. So now they need to call on their defense one last time to bail them out.
All right, here we go.
He's back to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle. Kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Back to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for our visitors, it's an important win for the